We're going to look at one of the strangest interviews that Donald Trump has done. This got very little attention. Trump was interviewed by a British political activist who used to be the editor of Breitbart London. This guy's name is Raheem Kassam. And this is, as I like to say when it's true, very bonkers stuff. I'm going to go through a few moments in this interview. And what's fascinating about this interview is that it's one of Trump's most softball interviews and one of the ones that went the most horribly wrong. And yet it got extraordinarily little attention, being published just a few days ago. So let's start with Trump on immigration, making just ridiculous claims about immigration. And for a movement that claims to care about facts over feelings, Raheem Kassam does nothing to rebut or even inquire where Trump is getting some of these claims from. Take a look at this.
No, nobody has ever seen anything like this. And I think we could say worldwide. I think you could go to a banana republic and pick the worst one, and you're not going to see what we're witnessing now. No control whatsoever. Nobody has any idea where these people are coming from. And we know they come from prisons. We know they come from mental institutions, insane asylums. We know they're terrorists. Nobody has ever seen anything like we're witnessing right now. It is a very sad thing for our country. It's poisoning the blood of our country. It's so bad. And people are coming in with disease.
So basically, we have a combination here of xenophobic and racist dog whistle stuff like it's poisoning the blood, the idea of dirty immigrants that are an infestation. This is the language, this is the imagery. These are the sort of metaphors and analogies that Republicans love to use. And of course, everything Trump is saying is at minimum unproven, maybe an actual lie. Mental institutions are not being emptied out into the United States. The idea of a terrorist pipeline into the country over the U.S.-Mexican border is often mentioned. And in fact, it's mentioned so much that there are people who assume it must be true because I hear it all the time. But it is not actually something that has been demonstrated. And so Trump's sort of combining dishonesty with xenophobia, and the interviewer just kind of goes for it. The interviewer then sets Trump up with another softball and says Fox News is hostile to you. And the topic of Rupert Murdoch stepping down comes up. Here's what Trump had to say about it. And he drops the globalist bomb. Remember, globalist, a longtime dog whistle, often for Jews conspiring to do things. Now, Rupert Murdoch, as far as I know, is not Jewish, but Trump dropping a globalist bomb, which has now become, quite frankly, globalist and deep state are conspiracy trigger words at this point in time.
Hostile towards you has been Fox, especially recently.
Yeah.
Murdoch says he's out. What do you think?
Well, I wish him luck. We've done fine with Fox. We've done well with Fox over the years. Roger Ailes was a great guy and a friend of mine, somebody I respected a lot. He did a fantastic job. They pick their opponents. Perhaps they're globalists. Who knows why? We had the greatest economy in history. We had the
I'd love to get Trump to define globalist, by the way. It would be an interesting thing. But so anyway, you know, he complains about the lack of loyalty.
strongest border in history. We cut taxes greater than Ronald Reagan. You know, our tax cut was bigger than the Reagan tax cut, which was also very big. We did things with regulations. That's why we had the best job numbers. Anyway, we had the best economy in history. But somehow, there's just an edge there. You know, if you look at the anchors, you take a look at Sean Hannity. Laura's been great. They've all been, I mean, they've been good.
Being good means you just don't question anything Trump says or does. That's what he means.
But there's an overhang that you just feel there's something missing.
Do you think he's
Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Yeah, it makes sense to this guy who's doing the interview. There's an edge of we don't unquestionably accept every single dumb thing that Trump says and does. The bouquet throwing from the interviewer to Trump continues, where Raheem Kassam praises Trump for his extraordinarily clever nickname of Ron DeSantis, DeSanctimonious. He loves it. He thinks it's just great.
Nickname, DeSanctimonious. Because I think when you first used it, a lot of people kind of didn't get it. And
They love it now.
Before. But it does reflect that. I mean, a lot of his online supporters, you see a lot of that sanctimony coming out in them. I mean, one of them last week said he thinks the founding fathers are in hell. I mean, I don't understand, who could possibly, even if you think it, why would you say that, right?
Right.
So how did you hone in on that about?
Talk to me about your creative process. What do you use, a mood board, a vision board? Do you open up a dictionary and just look at words that start with D, or in this case, it's not even, it's actually sanctimonious. I want to know the creative process for that genius nickname, sir.
Wrong.
Well, just an ungrateful person. He was out of a political career. He left Congress. He campaigned. And without me, he campaigned and he was at nothing. He had almost nothing. He had no money. He had no ratings. He had no polling, no nothing.
Nothing. Trump loves telling the story. And of course, it's not really an accurate story. Trump loves to say that the day he endorsed DeSantis, his polling spiked. I think his polling spiked 3 months later. So it's sort of a weird thing. Now, to Trump's credit, the topic of the 2022 midterms came up. And Trump actually offers a somewhat insightful analysis about how overplaying the abortion card hurt Republicans. This is maybe Trump's most sane moment of any interview I can remember.
And I don't endorse everybody, but we didn't do well. The Republicans didn't do well. I think I know why, because they didn't know how to talk about abortion properly. If they knew how to talk about abortion properly, because they're the radicals, we're not the radicals. We did a great thing on that with Roe v. Wade. We gave all the power to the pro-life, and something can be done now. They had no power whatsoever. Babies could be killed in the 7th, 8th, and 9th month, and even after birth. I mean, you saw the governor of Virginia,
Right. So that's not true. The interviewer says, yes, that's happening. Trump accurately points out that the abortion-related rhetoric in the wake of Roe v. Wade being undone was not helpful to Republicans. That's true. The country is more in favor of abortion being legal in most cases today than it has been at any time since Roe v. Wade was first passed in the 70s. Trump then saying everybody's just the left is pushing 7, 8, 9 month and post-birth abortions. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. It's not going on. That's simply a lie. Trump also mentions in this interview that he's going to be writing an autobiography. Now, what's fascinating about this is Trump doesn't read nor write.
It frustrates me sometimes that it feels like the left, your enemies, get to write your legacy. Do you have any plans to do that yourself? An autobiography, something like that?
I will when we're finished. We're having more response. Look, 2016 was something that nobody had ever seen in political history.
That's true.
Do you know in the country you had 92% politicians and 8% generals?
Yeah, so there you go. Trump planning to write an autobiography. I don't know if crayons will be a factor. I don't know. It's all very, very hard to know exactly what that's going to be like. Trump then attacks Biden, saying he is the most corrupt president in history, and suggests or believes, apparently, that he will be replaced by Gavin Newsom, that Democrats are ultimately going to replace Biden. This is something that many Republicans are now pushing.
He is, there's something wrong.
If it's not him, who's it going to be?
He's also the most corrupt president in history, without question. I don't know. There'll be a fight. I don't think that Kamala gets it handed. A lot of people are so afraid to go against her. I don't think it gets handed. I think all of a sudden everybody would start jumping in. She'd have to earn it. It'd be very hard to earn. But I don't know. They're the same 5 or 6 people that you report on and you see all the time. I don't see that. No. I don't see it. No.
Trump is actually right here. Michelle Obama has said, I'm not running for president. A bunch of Republicans keep pushing it, but I don't think it's happening. And Trump is willing to admit it. Good for him.
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, probably. I think so,
Yeah. I'm also interested in...
All right. And then this may be the most interesting moment in the entire interview. A rare human moment for Trump. You really rarely ever see this. He talks about how much he misses his deceased brother and father. Is this the real Trump? Is there a real Trump under there? Take a look at this.
Both passed away. One had a problem with alcohol. It taught me so much because he said, don't drink, and, don't drink. At that time, is a long time ago, drugs were not a big factor, but alcohol was. And he was very insistent on, don't drink, don't smoke. He said, don't smoke. And that was another thing that he added in, but it had a big impact on me. But I had a father that I was very close to. My other brother, Robert, I was very close to, passed away 2 years ago. A wonderful guy. He was so proud of me. He was so proud of the fact that I became president. He was amazing. You know, a lot of siblings, they're jealous. They don't, you know, I'm just as good as him or something. You know, it's,
Sure.
you have that. And maybe it's natural, maybe it's not natural, but you have it a lot, probably much more so than not. And he was great. He was a great supporter of mine. He thought it was so incredible. He couldn't believe it. And so we miss him, and I miss my father. You learn from people. My father was a great guy. He was very...
So I'll tell you, this might be the most human I've ever seen Trump. It's the most softball of softball interviews. It still goes horribly wrong in that he spews endless lies about the border, about Biden, about abortion. He lies about everything. He lies so reflexively that he probably doesn't even realize that he's repeating the same lies over and over and over again. But kind of an interesting moment, I will say, Trump talking about missing family members. I don't really know what to make of it. A very strange interview, one that got very little attention, but glad for the opportunity to take a look at it. We're going to take the quickest of breaks. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg joins me next. How about that? Budgeting can be a tough thing for a lot of people to stay disciplined about, but our sponsor Cube makes it much easier. The Cube app lets you easily separate your budget into categories called cubes, and then make all of your purchases from your cubes with your Cube debit card. Let's say you've budgeted $1,000 a month for groceries. You're at the grocery store, you're ready to spend, say, $250. You choose the grocery cube in the app. That'll make the money available on the card. As soon as you process the card, your grocery cube will then show the remaining balance of $750. And the card can't be used until you greenlight the purchase, which prevents theft. You can always see how much you have left in each cube. You can avoid overspending. Cube has joint accounts and debit cards for kids, so you can plan and save together. Your kids can make purchases that you've authorized in advance without borrowing your credit card. The average Cube user saves $440 a month just from being more conscious and aware of their spending. You can try the Cube Premium or Family Plan completely free for 2 months at davidpakman.com/money. The link is down below.